There's a lot more to the picture on the wall that you should know about. I was assigned Engine Company 11 as the captain on September 11th.
Rescue work has not stopped for a moment. This was sunrise this morning.
We relieved some companies that had done the yeoman share of the work there on the roof, putting the actual roof fire out, which was a very difficult task. So when we got assigned and got up to the roof along with 2 other companies, we were just kind of babysitting the work that they had done, making sure there were no flare-ups.
The fire at the Pentagon today, which we talked about this morning, is it still burning?
It is finally out.
The battalion chief at the time radioed up to us. He asked if we would mind assisting the military in putting a flag up on the Pentagon. There was an aerial ladder off to the side, and we noticed this really large soldier shouldering this really big flag coming up that ladder. And I was like, holy cow. I mean, the flag was a beast. While this was going on, I was thinking we really weren't prepared for this. We didn't have the right equipment, you know, ropes or webbing or things like that to support a little flag, let alone a flag of this size. So we're pulling stuff out of our pockets. We're trying to cobble together stuff that we can find to string this thing up, hopefully level, you know. So when we put it over the side, it doesn't plummet to the ground and we have an epic fail.
The president did want to go over to the Pentagon to express his sentiments to the people there.
I hear on the radio that the president is going to be there, so that kind of ups the level of we don't want to blow it in our moment here. Eventually the 3 soldiers join us, and so I'm thinking, you know, they brought some equipment too. That wasn't the case. You know, as we unfurled the flag on the roof prior to deploying it, you realize the size and scope of it, and I wasn't sure which side the star field should be on. And so I asked the soldiers, I said, you guys do this every day, I guess, you know, what side should it be on? And they didn't know the answer. So I was like, well, this could be really bad. We got a 50-50 shot on this. For those of us on the roof at that moment, it was the question that needed to be answered and answered correctly. So the soldier radioed down to, say, a general or somebody important looking for guidance. The general said, were you a Boy Scout? And I think the answer might have been yes. Then the general said, you should know this. Well, he didn't give us the answer, he just put the pressure back on the soldier. So we started laying it out, ready to deploy. And what we did was we were going to anchor it, put it up the slope of the Pentagon roof, furl it towards us all together, and then sort of toss it over and let it unfurl. Well, when we pre-laid it out, the star field was on the wrong side, so when we would have deployed it, it would have been backwards. And that would not have been good. It would have probably been unusable or a humiliation in a moment when we wanted the country to shine very strongly. Right when we had put it backwards up the thing, it felt like the whole crowd out on the lawn there went, no! Like they knew the answer of how the star field should be and were trying to signal to us, you've got it wrong. The picture I have here is one that we had flipped it so the star field was correct. We were retying everything, and I'm in the foreground there with the white helmet. It's one of the photos that not many people would ever see. So I felt pretty confident that when we unfurled the flag, the star field was going to be in the correct location. And then my only concern then was our rigging going to support it? The second failure could have been that as we dropped it in the weight, whether it be a shock load or a static load, snapped our rigging, or even just half of it, and it was hanging by one corner, let alone fell to the ground. That would not have been good too. But we only had what we had to work with. So, you know, you sort of size things up. Does this feel strong enough? And at some point, we just had to go with it and hope for the best.
The gesture they made at the Pentagon in fading light this afternoon may have been theatrical. It was also utterly perfect. A symbol of respect, of mourning, of power, of America.
The importance of the moment came perfectly clear. You know, we couldn't have done it. Ron Howard couldn't have done it any better. Put it that way. For those of us involved, we really weren't quite as proud of what we had done at the moment. And that's because the guys in the hours before had done all the really hard work fighting the fire, doing the searches and shoring the building up. We were there as an afterthought, you know, not for without a reason, but then we became the face of the operation at the Pentagon, which we didn't like that role at all. None of us. None of us. This is done with reservation, me talking about this, you know, to call attention to this very important, yet not the get dirty, gritty kind of work that we love to do, kind of leaves a bittersweet taste. My description of it has always been, it's 15 minutes of fame on a very bad day.